So, welcome back to another Game Stuff episode. Now, this is a Game Stuff episode from stuff before Christmas, from Christmas, and from my birthday. So, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm just going to try to make my way through it. So, got some video games, got some movies, got a few books as well. So, I picked this up before Christmas at Game Deals, got a great deal on it. Diablo III. Now, I got something to amend here. I have never played a Diablo game before. I've never had a real gaming PC. I've never really gotten into that. And I've always wanted to know what this game was like. And so me and Kim started playing it, and we've been playing it. We're on chapter 3 now. We're late into chapter 3. And it is a lot of fun. I'm surprised. It's very repetitive. Let me say that. It's that how it goes is an overhead hack and slash game. I can't even believe I'm telling you guys about it. You guys should be telling me about it. Everybody knows about Diablo except for me. So to me, it's a big surprise. The overhead graphics, and you're just going through wave and waves of enemies through dungeons. You're going back to town. You're buying weapons, upgrading, repairing, and rinse and repeat. But there is something very, very highly addictive in this game. And one thing I'll say is it is so beautifully polished. The environments are just incredible. Really a sight to behold. Every new place, new dungeon that we would go into, we're always like, wow, look at that. And it's really an impressive game. And it's so funny that I've never played it. So everybody's like, it's like Dungeons and Dragons, you have to play it. And we're playing it, and yes, it's very much like Dungeons and Dragons. It's wonderful. It's a game that me and Kim can both play together. An RPG, so we really, really appreciate Diablo 3. It is fantastic. It's really worth the hype. Now, there's a lot of people talking about this game, and I was really on the fence about it. I was like, I don't know from what people have been saying. Some people love this game, some people hated this game, and there were some people in between, so I was like, where do I fall in? And I got another great deal from Game Deals, and I picked it up, Alien Isolation. Now, I can tell you, I am the biggest Alien fan there is. I love Alien more than anything. I love that movie. Love the atmosphere. Love the music. Just everything about it. Does Alien Isolation, how does it hold up as a video game? Getting into the Alien universe. Incredibly well. I am blown the fuck away by Alien Isolation. I cannot believe how good it is. And I started playing the game on Boxing Day. I had Kim's family over, and I had the game. I'm like, yeah, we just finished dinner, and everybody's a video gamer in her family, which is really kind of cool. So I put it on, and we were all, no pun intended, we were all in the game. We were all right there in the environments, and oh my God, they capture the atmosphere so well. The music is there, the visuals are there. You're going through the ship, and every piece of light coming down, it's flickering. You're like, is there something there? Like, it's what's going to come out at me? And you go down, and nothing does. And then the next time, you're like, something does. It's really good. It was so funny. I freaked out playing the game. There was just a moment. Our entire family's there. I go around this corner, I come back, and there's this startling moment, and I went, ah! And I was just like, I felt so stupid in front of her family, but I knew that's a powerful thing for this game, and that's a big selling point. I cannot wait to play it. It's on my list to do tonight. As soon as I'm done this Game Stuff episode, it's Alien Isolation time. Next up is The Last of Us, the remastered edition on the PS4. Now, as you guys know, this was my game of the year for 2013, The Last of Us. I loved it, and I picked this up because I was such a gigantic fan of it. And I was like, man, I'm just going to play it for a little bit, see the upgraded graphics. I don't know if I'm going to go through the game again, but, I might do that. So I turned it on, and first of all, the graphics really grabbed me. They were like, I can't believe how nice they looked. It was like, the old one looked good. This one's even better. And I played finally the DLC. And what a bunch of twists and turns with that. And I'm not saying anything. For anybody who's played it, you know kind of what happens in that. I was really kind of taken back by it. I was like, wow, this is in a video game? Cool. Interesting. Yeah, me and Kim, I can't talk about the story, unfortunately, but the DLC. I was so happy to play over the Christmas break. I was really sick with a cold, and I just sat for a few hours and played the DLC. It's not long, and to be honest, it's not hard, but it was a lot of fun to play. And man, yeah, I can't wait for the next Last of Us game. You know, as I say, maybe it's gonna be called The First of Us or something. Who knows? Now, I picked this game up. This is kind of old now to mention because I picked it up before Christmas, but Super Smash Bros. On the Wii U. What can I say about this game? It is exactly what I thought it was going to be. And now, I'll be honest with you here. I love the fanfare of Nintendo. I love the fan service of Nintendo. But me and Rob have never loved Smash Brothers. We've never been fanatical about it. We played the original one in the N64, and we're like, oh, yeah, let's go back to Street Fighter. And then we played the other ones on the GameCube and, you know, on the Wii. But, you know, this is good. I never am upset playing Smash Brothers. I always really like it. I love being able to play as Link or Samus or you know, obviously Mario, anything like that. It's cool to be in those worlds, and I always buy the games just to check out the backgrounds, to see what new things they've done, and to hear some of the new music for older games. And it definitely lives up. And man, oh man, yeah, it's the best Smash Brothers ever. Absolutely. You guys already know that. Anybody who's a fan of Smash Brothers has already picked this up. A couple of really old school games I was very happy to pick up. I never owned these. I've never owned these, and I don't know why I've never owned them. I've been such a fanatical fan of the TurboGrafx over the years. And these games were really cool, hyped up games that I always wanted to pick up, and I have no fucking idea why I never grabbed them. The first one is JB Harold Murder Club. Now, this is really a text, choose your own adventure type of game to solve a mystery. And the graphics are kind of cool. It's kind of cool. You go around town and you talk to people and you get clues and you try to unravel the murder. And it's cool. I understand why I never picked it up. I was like, there's a lot of other games back then, but I was just like, it's cool. I got to grab this game now. But the game that I really wanted to pick up back in the day, and I never did, man, this was so awesome to pick up. It came from the desert. Now, this is a great computer game, and they ported this over to the TurboGrafx. And this is one of my initial games that I wanted back in the day on the TurboGrafx, and I don't know why I never saw it. I never grabbed it. I don't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it now. But it was nice to grab it now and to check it out. What kind of game is this? This is a game with digitized characters, you know, talking, which at that time, I'll show a bit of it, you know, right now, at that time was a really big deal. Like, you would walk around town and you'd see, like, the sheriff, and he would talk to you, and it's very digitized. It's very Sega CD-ish, if you want to call it that. It was cool. It was a really big deal to see characters talking in a video game. This was as good as we had to. Like, virtual reality back then. It was the best it was going to be, and you had to appreciate it. The rest of the game is okay. It's a side view, like shooting and stuff like that. The gameplay itself is okay, but the selling point was the digitized characters. It's pretty old, but it's very nostalgic. It's really kind of cool. It's definitely a game from another time, and you got to be happy that some games are made, because it kind of encapsulates an entire time period, and this game does. Now, a couple of old school games here. One is on the Super Famicom, A Link to the Past, the Japanese version. I've never had this before. I want to thank my friend Jeremy, who brought it over for me. And yeah, great, amazing to have a copy of the Japanese version. Totally appreciate it. Thank you. Here's a funny game. Nobody talks about this game, and back in my old PlayStation 1 days, I had a modded PlayStation 1, and I'd go to my Japanese mall, and I would pick up Japanese games that you couldn't get over here. And I picked up this one game called Poppin Tanks. And me and Rob and my friend Aaron, we sat up all night drinking beer, playing this game. And here it is here. I was finally able, I looked on eBay years ago and I couldn't find a copy, the original, because I want to own the original copy of Poppin Tanks. It's a game where you're all in cutesy anime tanks fighting against each other. You know, does it hold up now? Yeah. At the time, it was really fun, and I remember we were playing it all night long, and then we got up I remember actually, I got up the next morning. I was really hungover, and I went in bed, and all I hear is I hear Rob and Aaron in the next room laughing and freaking out and going crazy, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I came out, Poppin Tanks. Yeah, they were playing this game, and this is a kind of a forgotten gem on the PlayStation 1, the Japanese version. Nobody talks about it. It's very kind of like very unknown. Maybe it's unknown as just a very niche game, but it's fun. It holds up semi-okay. Okay, here we go. A Super Famicom game. Silver Saga 2. Now, I saw some gameplay of this on YouTube, and I couldn't believe how fucking cool it was. I always come on these Game Stuff episodes and talk about, JRPGs that we never got. This is one, again, there was like so many in Japan. We had just a few over here that were ever brought over and translated. Japan was overloaded because of Dragon Quest. Everybody's trying to create those Dragon Quest games or the Phantasy Star games to kind of cash in on it. And there were some great cash-ins, let me tell you. This is one of them. I was looking at this and was like, man, I really wish we could have played this back in the day. It's the combat systems like Phantasy Star, the overhead. It's pretty much like Phantasy Star, but some really nice graphics. And yeah, really, I'm going to try to track down an English translation of this. I know one exists. So, want to try out Silver Saga. Very cool, and I got it for like $10 on eBay. Really, really cheap price.